Most people don't think fear makes their decisions for them. They think they're being realistic. And that's what makes fear so dangerous and so potent, because if fear arrived and announced itself as fear, we'd push back. Instead, it arrives dressed as wisdom, as caution, as managing expectations, as not getting your hopes up, as being practical. And by the time you realize fear is talking, you've already agreed with it. That's exactly what happens in this week's Torah portion. Moshe sent 12 spies into the land of Israel. 40 days later, they returned carrying proof that the land was everything they were promised. Banu el haaretz asher shelachtanu v'gam zavat chalav udvash hi. We came to the land to which you sent us, and indeed it flows with milk and with honey. The opportunity was real, the future was real, but then came the fear. 10 of the spies had more to add. Efes ki az ha'am hayoshev ba'aretz. However, the people who live in the country, they're mighty. And suddenly the conversation changed. Not because the facts changed, because the story changed. The 10 spies weren't lying. The cities really were fortified. The challenges really were enormous. The problem is that their fear took true facts and assembled them into a false conclusion. It took obstacles and turned them into impossibilities. It took uncertainty and turned it into inevitability. And then comes one of the most revealing lines in the Torah. Vanhi ve'einenu kachagavim. We were like grasshoppers in our own eyes. Notice what they don't say. They don't say we were like grasshoppers to them. They say we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes. The story began there. Before they were defeated by any giants, they were defeated by their own imagination. And I think that's why this episode is so important, because the future is rarely determined by circumstances alone. It's determined by the story we tell about those circumstances. The 10 spies didn't bring back information, they brought back a story. And that story became the future. So the kavanah I'm carrying this week from Parashat Shelach is all about being intentional in responding to fear with faith and courage. Not because courage means feeling fearless, but because courage means refusing to let the fear tell the whole story. The question I'll be asking myself this Shabbat to center this kavanah is, where has fear distorted my interpretation of what's possible? And for you, what story are you telling yourself about the future right now? And what might change if fear wasn't the one writing it? Shabbat Shalom.